Hey guys, welcome to another Everyday Patio video, and today we're going to be showing you guys how to build a patio enclosure on a slab that we poured. So this was a pretty cool build. We started this by pulling the permit and everything and pouring the slab and then setting the tracks. And then after the track inspection was passed, then we actually came back, lifted up the tracks, sealed underneath them, and started the build. So really interesting community. I guess this used to be a church. So like the setbacks were all like kind of like minimal, as you see on like the walking path. So like there were no property lines here. So just it was a really interesting like permit procedure on the project. But here you see us like that's the top track we're cutting, and those are the wall boards. So we kind of staged everything out in front of the house when we were ready to build. And typically what we're doing is like building out the frame now before we put in the walls, just so we can like fill the walls in. That's our first wall one going in. I preferably like to build from the middle. So start from the center, mark it, put your H or mullion, and then fill in the walls from there. You typically have like around a 2-inch gap on the bottom, and then around a 1-inch gap on the, or a 2-inch gap on the top, and then around a 1-inch gap on the bottom. So you can kind of lift it up into the top track and then drop it down into the bottom track. And then every time you get those like electrical channel mullions together, you can put screws around like every like couple feet inside them to hold it together. And again, on that side, you see we're starting from the middle, and then we're filling in the front side, and then filling in the other side. That's just the way we build it. I'm sure there's some other ways, but that's the most like efficient way I've kind of seen currently with our crews. And that's just putting that corner wall in. So it was unique in the sense he had a door on like both sides. Normally a patio room only has like one door, but he put them like caddy corner. That's the other wallboard going in. And here's just coming back the next morning. So the roof's gonna have the same overhang on each side. You can see the electrical coming down there. Like when there's inspection, you can use those metal electrical boxes. I'd prefer like a plastic box, but currently they don't have a plastic box that fits perfectly right there. So you can see we put it in there, we put a little clip on the top of it, and that secures the wire at the box, because technically you're supposed to have the wire secured within 12 inches of an electrical connection. And that's where our dimmer and our light's going to go. So we were able to power everything off of their existing porch light, run it to the patio room, and then use a wireless switch. So inside, they were able to operate the ceiling lights from their inside switch still, but we could still power everything off that porch light. So that's kind of like the most effective way I know right now to power like a room and electrical, because normally you don't need that much pull. If you're adding something like a mini split or air conditioning unit into the wall, you'd typically add another dedicated line from your breaker, so that would be separate. So the porch light is good enough to like handle most everything else, or a normal outlet on the house. Additional electrical, you just pull from the breaker box, and that's just locking the panels together. So you don't want to be too tight when you're locking them. Just lock them right where the lock goes in, and then kind of leave it at that. And on this one, we have no planks on the roof, so it's just smooth texture. That's where all the lights are going. And up there you can see they're covering the electrical track where we ran all the electrical lines with like a little plastic piece that kind of hits there. And that's the side fascia going in to cap off the panels. And that's the electrical ran. So when you see like we have a lot of electrical like that, sometimes we'll drill into the back of the mullion. There's a little channel there, and you can send wires back there. And that way you have like a little more space inside your boxes, so you can like bypass the box to just like make everything a little bit cleaner. And that's the porch light right there going in. So a lot of times people get a porch light outside of their door or ped door slider, and that way they're able to turn it on when they go out to be able to see. And that's how we install our 4-inch recessed lights there. So there's a little usually like quick connect, like Wago connectors with them. You can put it up in there, and you can pick 3, 4, 5K for the lighting options, which is basically like a warm lighting, like a more of a blue light, and then more of like a white light. And here's how we seal the roof. So that's with an automatic caulking gun. And then on every seam, we put about like a 1/2 inch bead, and then smooth it out with a piece of cardboard that's been bent over We seal every screw. And in addition, on this roof, we also painted on Tropicool. So it's a nice little layer you can put on the roof to keep it cool and like kind of lock everything together. It's really good for waterproofing and really good for temperature control. And that's another porch light going in. So those are from Costco, you know, a good affordable price on a porch light and went in fairly easy. So I'd definitely recommend those ones for sure. Here's a fan that the homeowner got as well. So there's a lot of fans like out there, like literally hundreds. Normally it's a new fan on every job. So on this one, you see we're just kind of building it the way it came. Looks like it has around like 2 screws per fan blade, and then we're gonna lock in the light right there. So I believe the light was actually magnetic on this one. And then that's the mounting bracket. So we use like 2.5 inch long like tech screws or like the 3 inch roofing lugs, and that mounts the fan bracket to the actual fan beam, so it has proper support. And then yeah, I really like how this fan like kind of tied in with this space. A black accents well with all the white. So that's the 3 foot ped door going in, or glass door. We call them ped doors. So I noticed like kind of the trick on those. You want to use the U channel on the right side and the top, and then make your gap on like the door side and bottom like close to like 3/8 of an inch, kind of like that, like a small gap. And then this is the end. This is after all the flooring went in. So the homeowner got LVP or like vinyl plank flooring. You know, you want kind of like a water resistant flooring. The most popular is like normally tile or LVP like that, which is very affordable and very easy to put in. The customer also put up these shades, which I believe are called zebra blinds. So they kind of go 50-50 on it. I thought it was a really cool effect on the room. And then they also smoothed out the wall. So they basically mudded the wall to give it that smooth texture to make it more of a room feel. So I'm really happy with how this one came out. I'm like super stoked on like the whole process from getting the permit to like the end of the build. The homeowner was great to deal with, and the crew I think really did a great job like pulling it together. So thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, feel free to tune in, and we appreciate you guys. We appreciate you fans and everyone that watches and comments and tunes into our videos. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and Everyday Patio out.